Follow the signs for Earlston, join the Jedburgh Road and exit at the Leaderfoot Railway Viaduct. A few miles from here lies Old Melrose, a bend in the river below what is known as Scott's View. This was the site of an ancient monastery of Melrose. It was founded some 500 years before the other border abbeys by Thomas Boisil, whose name is commemorated in the nearby village of St Boswell. Also, a little distance on, is the House of Beamerside, gifted by the nation to Field Marshal Earl Haig in 1921. Dryborough Abbey is also nearby, for many the most romantic of the border abbeys. Earl Haig is buried here, as is Sir Walter Scott. However, we take the turn off to Gattonside, passing under the viaduct. This tall, graceful structure was built in 1865, with its 19 semicircular sandstone arches resting on slender pillars which are reinforced with buttresses. The line is long abandoned, leaving the viaduct as its only tangible reminder. We travel below the Eildon Hills that rise to 1,400 feet high, an outcrop of volcanic rock that was once the tribal capital of Votadini. These ancient people occupied the lands from the Tyne to the Forth. The hills were at that time home to a settlement of some 2,000 people. The three hills, they say, were divided by the wizard Michael Scott, whilst tales tell of King Arthur, Merlin and the Knights of the Round Table, who all sleep in a great hall deep in the hill. It was here that Thomas the Rhymer disappeared into the hidden fairy kingdom for 7 years with the Fairy Queen, and returned with the gift of prophecy. Certainly a Thomas Rhymer did live hereabouts in 1401. Sir Walter Scott wrote a good deal on this subject. At Melrose Market Square is a 16th century market cross. The Romans built an important fort at Trimontium a few miles away, the site influenced by the high visibility of the triple-peaked Eildon Hills, which aided navigation. At the Three Hills Roman Centre, located at the Ormiston in Market Square, Bill McLaren tells the story of the nearby 370-acre Trimontium military complex at Newstead in the shadows of the three Eildon Hills. Newstead was the hub of Roman roads in Scotland and its southern capital. Standing above an important crossing of the Tweed, it is the site of the first known amphitheatre in Scotland. Excavations have uncovered amazing gems and artefacts, including decorated leather headgear for horses, semi-precious stones from soldiers' rings, and wonderful helmets. The display includes the face of a Roman soldier reconstructed from his skull. His skeleton was found down one of Trimontium's 100 mysterious pits. Guided walks from the centre to the site take place in the season. Contact the centre for dates and times. The bitter wars that ravaged the Scottish borders did irreversible damage to Melrose Abbey, but even in ruins it remains beautiful. The abbey as it stands today was preserved by the energy of Sir Walter Scott and the money of the Duke of Buccleuch in 1822. Some of the finest figure sculpture in the country is preserved here. The abbey holds the heart of Robert the Bruce, who died of leprosy but requested that his heart was taken on crusade to the Holy Land by Sir James Douglas. Whilst on crusade, Sir James found himself trapped by an ambush of Saracens. With no hope of escape, he threw the casket containing Bruce's heart at the enemy, saying the words, "Lead on, brave heart, and I will follow." He died that day, but the casket was retrieved and eventually interred here at Melrose. Bruce had been responsible for much of the rebuilding of the abbey, only for it to be demolished by the invading English once again. We leave Melrose, passing the town's rugby field, Green Yards, which is the home of seven-a-side rugby, which began here in 1883.